scheduler and want to manage everything to the T. You can be a great organizer of a Fortune 500 organization. You can have small things on your calendar to achieve for yourself and manage every minute to every second to get things done. But if you allow yourself to mess around with the wrong type of people who are not even open to be understanding or very considerate of your time, it will drain you before you know it. So whatever that was filled up, that was full of water, full of life, full of momentum to get things done, or you want to achieve in your life, before you know it, it will drain and suck all the life out of you, and you find yourself saying, "Oh my goodness, how did I get myself into this conundrum?" I would say, into this cyclone or whatever type of frantic that I became around or allow myself to entertain. So we have to learn every day as much as possible to do not allow yourself to become drained with other people's stubbornness. Stubbornness, what I mean by that, when there's no flexibility, they're not open to change. Those type of people, those type of people will drain you. Those type of people that would tell you, "Hey, yes, yes, I'm listening," but they listen to respond, not to understand, and that's a big difference. There's some people that claim that they are great communicators, but they, within the first couple of seconds that they claim that they're talking to you, they really zone out in something else. And don't mess around and have your cell phone or something else that's very distracting in their hand or within their reach. They will even multitask you and even tell you and lie to your face and tell you that they're listening to you. And you're like, oh wow, you could have some great ideas and some great things that's happening in your life, which it is for so many of us, because it's just time to just really embrace what is going positive in our lives. We've had so many terrible things, painful things, tumultuous things that happened in the last past 8 to 12 months that we're looking for new changes. The worst thing we can do is to place our stuff around stubborn people who are not open to anything and to attach ourselves. Now, here's the deal. How do you know if you're attaching yourself? You know if you're attaching yourself when you make regular considerations to other people's opinions and their decisions. When you when you allow yourself to connect to what they're talking about, and you're like, well, let me just see what they think, or you have this type of allegiance that make you want to be around that, and you have to ask yourself, no, I think I'm attached to what somebody else think, or what the last word that they said the last time, and we've considered those things. When we take a pause and go, yeah. And then we find ourselves grabbing on to somebody else's thoughts, whatever. I heard this wise man say that if you buy somebody's opinions, you buy their lifestyle. And just that alone is so strong. And we have to be very, very, very careful about what we're purchasing, what we're buying into. And what we buy means what we accept. What we accept means what we believe. Yes. And so you know how when people say stuff like, I heard that information, I read about this, I'm not buying it. And what they're pretty much saying is that I'm not buying into accepting that to be a belief that I'm going to attach to me. So when you do that, you have to ask yourself, is this making me, or is this promoting more energy, more momentum in my life? Or is this something that is draining me and causing me to just be like, I don't want to do anything? It just zap all the strength that I have. It zap all the momentum that I have. And when you have those type of people that operate like that, it's not just their mindset, it's not just their willingness, and it's not just how they feel about something emotionally, but it's also it can very, very, very strongly well be a spirit that's what they do. And many people are very deceived by it. They don't even believe that they even operate that way. And if you mess around and say those things to try to set them free about it, they will get mad at you because they're so stuck on as if you're attacking them. But what they don't realize is that you really are addressing what is working in them, that they need to be like, if that stuff was coming out of me, because the Bible says that out of the abundance of the heart, that the mouth speaketh. So these are things that are matters of the heart, is that emotional part of your heart. And as humans, we all have it. And when it comes out of your heart, you'll know that this person could be a very sweet person, or this person is a very stubborn person. This person is very coachable, and they don't just hear me, but they're listening. And then they're not just listening to just tolerate and be like, hey, 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 but can I say something? And you're like, are you kidding me? Those type of people, you have to really, really ask yourself, you know what? Let me not even give these pearls of wisdom and just give it to you because it's a waste. The worst thing you could do is to waste yourself. Give your pearls. The Bible's talk about how, you're giving these precious pearls of wisdom. Give your pearls to swine. Swines are symbolic to the pigs. They eat slop. They don't have a care in the world. They just operate. And they are bottom feeders. They don't have considerations of um, um, appreciating what is beautiful. What's going on, brother Sylvester, Pastor Prophet? They don't have enough love to exhibit to say, um, okay, I can understand that. And many people, they don't listen to understand and take a breather and then process what was said to them. They're too busy trying to make a point to prove that you're not going to show me down, or you're not going to make me feel like I'm not as educated in this moment. And that should be the last thing that you should be concerned about, because how do you know the prayers that you pray? God, teach me today. Show me your will. I want to be a better person. And if some of those things are not good things, we should just say, you know what, let me just do a self-assessment, as we say in the mental health and behavioral health field, and even as counselors and people who do a lot of facilitating. Let's do a mental or a personal self-assessment to see, where am I doing wrong at? And wrong does not always mean something that I did an act of, but if my thinking is wrong and where I'm going, this is the moment to make a correction. This is a good free lesson. We spend too much time with trying to prove ourselves to people who don't want to do anything in the first place. They have a stubborn, they're not pliable, they're not stretchable. You can't say anything to them. It is literally a brick wall. Thank you all for the support. They are literally a brick wall. Brick walls do not talk back. They don't appreciate. They just exist, and they serve the purpose of being a brick wall. So you have to tell yourself, let me learn not to spend a lot of time, not to entertain, not to attach myself to stubborn people. It's a waste of time. Are you kidding me? There are stubborn people in your family, and you could tell them that I said this because I care about them, but I don't care about the ways at all. I love them, and even Jesus say, "Hey, I love you, but I don't like your sinful ways." Sinful, anything that's disconnect yourself with God, and I'm coming from God. Um, I'm an imitator of God on His behalf as a messenger out of obedience. So look at all the things that I have to do, and I'm speaking to stubborn people. Okay. And the worst thing you could do is to be a stubborn person trying, or you think that you are not a stubborn person, talking to other stubborn people. So now that's a big, big crowd of stubbornness. And God cannot really do anything with that unless there's some willingness, some humility, and you are willing, here you go again, to be teachable, pliable, and coachable. That's the only way you can be exalted from God. Humble yourself under the mighty hand of God. So allow Him to press you down, shaking hands, run it over. Allow Him to press you down, and so you can be processed. So when you're around stubborn people who don't have anything to say, they have nothing to promote, and when you ask them, "Hey, what do you think about this?" "Well, I don't have anything to say. I don't have nothing else to do." Okay, but are you willing to grow? Are you willing to go to a class? No, that's not for me. Okay. What you have to do is detach yourself. I will end like this. You have to detach yourself from people who are stubborn. If you are willing, teachable, ready to explore, ready to do new things, if there's things that you've been putting off, well, I agreed that I was going to do this with this person. I agreed I was going to go here with this person and do this with these people, or do this with my family. What if you have a group of people who are stubborn, but you're the only one who is willing to do some great things? You're going to have to leave them. You have to leave all of them and go ahead and take life like it is. Do not pass away and be buried in the cemetery with all these great ideas, and it would have broke and made breakthroughs and made victory in your family and for your children because you was connected to stubborn people. Learn not to be attached to stubbornness. It's a waste of time. I can't say that enough. This is one of those years that the sky is the limit. Yes, sicknesses and diseases are everywhere. There are everything that's going on, but that's not happening to everybody all the time, any minute. No, we are not exempt from it. But while you have strength and breath through your lungs, and you have operations, and you have favor, which everyone who's listening to me, you really, really do, walk in it. The only person that is making excuses is you. But don't let it be because people are draining you because they're stubborn. The worst thing you can do, because the more that you're around stubborn people, you're going to become stubborn about the things that you're supposed to do. You're not going to be teachable. You're not going to want to do it. And you can't even, as they say, call it kettle black. When you are just as black as you are, and I'm not talking racial, I'm not talking ethnicity, but you are just as dark as they are. You have two people who don't want to come to some sunlight, like the sunlight is behind me in this background back here. So once again, you have to learn that. You have to learn that. If you didn't get it, I'm here to remind you, as just your friend, to learn not to be attached to stubbornness. You know, anybody's stubbornness. Once again, uh, they are not open to change. They listen to respond. They don't listen to understand. And even if they understand, I found myself doing this, you guys. I found myself stopping people and be like, wait. Before we go further in conversation, did you understand what I was trying to convey to you? And you'll be surprised at the ones that are stuttering or they cannot repeat because they were not listening. Listening skills and communication, as I taught on one of my other videos, is when they can list the things, List, out of the word listening, they can list the things that they've learned for what you said. They can regurgitate everything you said. And then from that, they can say, hey, and because I was listening, I have an understanding where you're coming from the position where you're coming from. And most people who are considerate will be able to do that. And there's no age to it because there are older people that will zone you out. They check out because they don't want to hear nothing you're saying because they've been a stubborn person for years. You have even young children that can do that because they have learned behavior. They've learned it from other people and they put their hands in their fingers in their ears and be like, oh, no, I'm not listening to you. And that's a bad behavior. And the people who are of middle age, they're either learning from how the older senior generations, the seasoned people are doing, or they're acting like little children. But any of it, if you're operating like that, is a level of immaturity. The big picture is, let me learn not to be attached. Once again, how do you know if you're attached? Is when you make regular considerations. You regularly consider it, what somebody else is doing or what they may feel or what they thinking, and then you don't make a move and you don't operate. And then you find yourself not doing it because they're not doing it. And then if you say, well, I really want to go to school and they have this program online, and then you really want to do it with some other people and they was praying for you. Now you have to watch out. This comes in all kind of phases now. There are other people that will say, hey, I'm with you. Hey, let's do it. Let's do it. And your drive to finally do it for yourself comes and it hits you. And then you're like, hey, okay, you know what? Let's just go for it. And then they don't go for it. And then you're like, oh, well, you guess what? I'm not going to do it either. That's the moment that you realize you are attached to somebody else's stubbornness because they don't feel the urgency. They don't know that tomorrow's not promised. They don't know that what you can do today don't put off tomorrow. That's the thing that I'm driving home to you guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allowing me to give you a Thursday thought. But think about that. Pass it on. Learn, learn not to attach yourself to anyone's stubbornness, anybody's. Even the old thoughts that you consider that was good things in other areas. Because there are some people are not going to give you. Mind you, everybody's not going to be around to give you good wisdom in every area. This is why God got a collective amount of people to give you things in different, various areas of you. Because where they might be very, very positive over here, they need work on over here, just like we are as people. And I'm pointing at even myself. So everybody's not going to do it in every area. This is why God is like, don't be so close to everybody that I can just do it myself and all that. Well, you'll never get far like that. But be open. Allow yourself to be teachable and be like, oh, I can learn from this person. I can get this nugget from this person. I can get tips from this person. And you grab all these different things that will give you a nice amount of food to eat on your plate for your diet. And then now you can exercise this healthy living that was promised to you. Even the book of John said, beloved, I wish above all that you would prosper, be in good health, even as your soul prosper. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, share the word, this Thursday thought. I'm glad to be back on here. Please visit me on www.drcortesdsims.com. I would like to give you a Thursday thought. I have three books: Speechless Conversations about poetic poems that deals with real life issues and life lessons. I give Quotes on Napkins, which is my second book, give you 114 quotes that will give you inspirations to various areas of your life. Pass that on. And then my most recent one that came out last year around this time, that was called Qualified but Not Preferred. You need to know that you're qualified and you are preferred. All right. Love you. Let's take charge. Have a great, great day. Take care.